Can we make fun, pretty acrylic pours inexpensively without using a pouring medium or paint conditioner? If you want to see what's possible with just craft paint, some water, and a couple of drops of silicone, keep watching. Hi everyone, it's Miriam with a Y from Miriam's Nature. I get asked lots of questions about alternatives to pouring mediums for budget reasons or availability reasons. You might be just starting out and want to try acrylic pouring without breaking the bank. Or maybe finding things like pouring medium or paint extenders or conditioners like Floetrol is difficult where you are. So for today, we're going to check out how to fluid paint with a good, readily available craft paint, regular tap water, and a little bit of silicone. For this project, I'm using DecoArt Crafter's Acrylic, and my colors are matte, but my black and white are gloss. And the reason I don't tend to care about that sort of thing is when I'm done with a painting, I seal it with a gloss varnish that'll make the entire painting look glossy, regardless of what it looked like originally. It doesn't matter which version of the paints you use. This will work if you use all gloss, all matte, mix and match. It's fine. Now for the colors, I want to start out with one of my absolute favorites, and that's Tropical Blue. Some bright yellow, Pure Pumpkin, Tutti Frutti, some Peacock Blue, and finally some Wild Green and some Purple Passion. Let's mix some paint. You know, I've actually never shown this step on camera before, so this might be helpful for those of you struggling with good consistency or thickness of your paint for pouring. For those of you very comfortable with this step, I guess you can skip ahead a little, or I don't know, think of pretty butterflies for a minute or two, but stay close. Now, I'm going to make a 1 ounce paint mix for each of my colors, and I'm going to mix my paint 2 parts paint to 1 part water. And I'm using 1 ounce cups, and 1 ounce is 30 milliliters. So I'll bring the paint up to the 20 mil mark and then add water to the 30 mil mark, and that'll give me 1 ounce. When you don't use some form of pouring medium and instead just use water like we're going to do here, then it's really important to not exceed 1/3 of the mix being water, with the other 2/3 being the paint. Paint is essentially pigment suspended in a binding emulsion. Water that emulsion down too much and it just can't bind or stick. And now when I add water, I'm not going to add it all at once. I'm only going to add a little bit at a time. And the reason for that is just in case I don't need that much. The least amount of water you can add, the better. So now if I look at the paint, see how it doesn't come off entirely as a stream. It breaks up too quickly. I want it to be more of a continuous stream. So I'm going to add a little more. And don't skimp on this step. I think a lot of people want this to be a 1 to 2 minute mixing operation, and paint mixing really isn't. I can literally spend an hour mixing the paints before I'm going to be ready to do a pour. And there's something kind of therapeutic about mixing paint. I don't know, it's kind of fun. Like, it's very meditative. So this is what I'm after. I want a continuous stream, and I want it to make a little mound when it hits the paint and then flatten out. So that's perfect for me. Now I've decided to add silicone to 2 or 3 of my colors. So I'm going to add to the blue and I don't know, maybe the pink. And I will add 1, 2, 3 drops. For me, 3 drops per ounce is fine. And if I'm working with dimethicone, I might add only 2 because the dimethicone seems to be more powerful, at least for me. And I'm going to mix it in and then pour that into the bottle, and that's all the mixing I'm going to do. And that's it. That is me mixing paint. Now I've just got to do that about 7 more times. My colors are all mixed, and I'm going to prepare my cup. Now, since I'm going to be doing a flip and drag, I have punctured my cup and put a piece of tape over the little hole that I made. That'll make dragging the cup easier when I pull the tape off. So there won't be any suction formed or vacuum. The little hole makes it much easier to drag your cup. I've gone ahead and painted a canvas panel black. Since I'm going to have a black negative space, I don't want to have to worry about white patches showing through. And now with my cup flipped, I'm going to pour black paint around the cup and on my entire canvas and fill it up. And then spread my paint with my pick. For those of you new to my channel, I spread the paint with a pick because it gives me a nice uniform spread, and it also keeps me from having to waste paint. If you pour a lot of paint and then tilt it to cover the canvas, you actually use more paint than you really need. Doing it this way, you get a nice uniform layer and you also don't use as much paint. All right, let's pull off this tape and see what we get. Start dragging. I don't really have a plan other than to spread paint around. Alrighty, let's see what we can do with this. Maybe tilt it a little bit just to get a sense of where the heaviest concentration of paint is. Because what's going to be really important in this pour, maybe more than other pours that have like a medium, is not to leave big heavy pockets of paint. Because since there's no pouring medium or Floetrol or anything, the paint is going to be more inclined to crack or craze. So we want to minimize that by making sure that we don't have heavy splotches of paint anywhere. I love what's happening here. I'm going to play with a bamboo skewer for a second and see about filling in this area. I'm kind of wishing there was a little more pink. So I'm going to make a little bit of a puddle right here. And then a little purple on top of that. Maybe a little aqua. Yeah, I'm going to do that in a couple of places. It seems the way the cells are, some of them are small, some of them are big. I feel like I have permission to do that, to sort of make puddles of color that I wish I had in some places. And I'm not going to just let them sit there. I'm going to make tendrils and blow a little bit. Just giving myself some color to play with. Okay, let's have some tendrily fun now. Because you know I'm not going to be content unless I have some tendrils. Start here. Now, I think in order for that to work, it needs black to play into. Yeah, see what's happening there now with the little cells kind of opening up. That's what I want to see more of. Try again. That's starting to work for me. Now where? I'll do this one and then maybe that'll inform the decision for this one. Ooh, yeah, that's, oh, love that. See, there's too much paint. It's not that I don't like what's happening here, it's just too thick. And I don't want to tilt because I don't want to lose a lot of this. But the paint here, if I don't move some of it off, it will craze when it dries. Yeah, I'm liking some of this. This patch looks a little muddy to me, so I want to clean that up a little bit. Add some pink in front of it, yellow. Yeah, when it settles down, it ends up being what I want. I'm liking the pink a lot with the black. I've zoomed you in so that you can see what I'm playing with or playing at. I love the webbing that happens, the sort of lacy edge that happens. Oh, no, I don't like this. It's not as nice as the rest of it. It's not, I don't know, it's not muddy. That's not the right word for that. Messy? Whatever it is, I don't like that. So I'm going to keep playing with that until I like it. That's better. I like how it's all smooth in here and then sort of like shredded, like ripped fabric out here. I think that's what I'm going to shoot for with the rest of the piece. This is interesting because there was a patch of color here, and so now it's making almost like a rusty brown color. It's kind of cool. Yeah, this is so pretty. Love this. Love it, love it. Now we need some color in it. I don't want to blow here, but I want to carefully test to see how much paint there is here, because I don't want crazing. So I want to make sure that this area of paint is not too thick. I'm just sort of dragging my skewer here to get some paint off the canvas without changing the painting too much. For this one, I'm just going to swirl. Well, in keeping with the rest, which all sort of fans out that way, I feel like I need to do the same here and fan this out this way as well. I like all these little details. So much prettiness there. And this is all because of the white. I'm so glad I added that. Okay, let's see. what happens when we blow here. Just enough. Okay, now here. I don't want to blow, that'll get too busy. I could send a couple of tendrils out. Kind of take an overall look. Alright, this patch is driving me nuts. I've been staring at it for a while. I've got to do something with it. I love the lacing in front of it, but the patch itself bums me out, so to connect this. It's not perfect, but it's better than what I had before. So I'm happier with it. I'm going to stop. I'm not going to touch that anymore. And I am calling it done. I had already taken gloves off and everything, but this whole area was driving me nuts, so I am wiping the whole thing out. And ordinarily I would wipe off completely, but in this case, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm just going to flood it with black and then add periodic drops of color. And now blow the heck out of it. Okay, now I'm super happy with this. The orange patch there had been too much for that corner, I think. This is wild and fun and seriously happened with just craft paint, water, and a few drops of silicone. I will clean up some little details, let it dry, and we'll see where we end up. So we did have a little bit of crazing right here, and that is pretty easy to fix, and I am going to show you how I'm going to do that. On a piece of paper, I have a couple of drops of the paints that I need to correct the crazes, and I'm using the finest point paintbrush, and I'm literally going to fill in the empty spaces. Now this ultra fine paintbrush that I'm using, I ordered as a pack of 10 of them from eBay. I paid less than $2 for them, and that included the shipping. I'll make sure to add a link to that in the description box below the video. And 2-3 minutes later, most of the crazing is covered up. I mean, there are little fine ones that I didn't bother going crazy to get because from a distance, no one's really going to see them. You know, like the little ones here or there. I mean, really, you'd have to be so close up to see them. So I'm not too concerned about little itty-bitty ones. But the big ones are filled in, and once you pull back from the canvas, you really won't see them. This time around, I skipped showing you a close-up of the painting wet because it looked pretty much exactly as it does dry, except for the few little spots of crazing. Let me know with a thumbs up if you'd like to see more pouring videos. Tell me in the comments what else you'd like to see done with paint, and let me know also which position you think works best for this painting. I did most of the work in position 1, but I kind of like it vertically now. What do you think? Thanks to all of you who are kindly helping by using my links to Amazon and sponsoring the channel. It means a ton. You can also help keep the channel going by sharing these videos with your friends and groups. Click subscribe if you haven't done it already. It's easy to do if you just touch my face that popped up. And remember to let your creative nature shine. See you next time. Bye now.